What's going on, guys? Unknown Player here, and today we're going to be finally looking at my level 400 Titan and essentially going through all the gear and loadouts I use specifically for this Titan. I've already made videos going through my Hunter as, of course, my main character, and my Warlock as well. Both of those videos will be linked in the description. But today we're going to be looking at my Titan and what I use on him. As I said before, I play through my characters pretty differently in different activities. I don't just transfer the same guns over, so they tend to have different guns on each of them. My Hunter, of course, I do pretty much everything. My Warlock is mainly Crucible, and so this Titan we're going to look at today is mainly PvE, so strikes, missions, and raids. And that's why you see most of this character's loot is mainly geared towards those activities, and of course my favorite weapons to use in them. So as of now, I'm currently using the Striker, which I mainly use just for messing around and having fun, really, in the PvE. I don't really use it that often, but it is quite a fun class to use just to mess around and Fist of Havoc and Shoulder Charge and all that stuff. It is, of course, one of the best classes for Crucible, which I sometimes use when I do hop in my Titan, but for the most part, I'm using the Defender, which, of course, is an amazing PvE subclass. It's so good and a load of fun. I pretty much always pair it with the Saint 14 helmet, which is really effective. Probably one of my favorite Titan exotics there is, but right now, I'm pretty much not using any exotics in terms of armor. I'm pretty much going with whatever looks good on my character right now. We also, of course, have the Sunbreaker, which is basically my go-to at the beginning of Year 2, but this thing got nerfed really hard. It used to be amazing in PvP, probably the most, terrifying supers to ever be in Crucible, but it got nerfed pretty hard, so it's not really that great anymore, and being super aggressive with the Striker is basically the way forward. Now, going to the weapons, again, of course, you can see pretty much all of them are PvE focused. We've got the classic Hung Jury, which is basically God Roll, that was initially sold by Dead Orbit. This thing's amazing, got triple tap Firefly, really good reload and really good stability. It's a really solid, reliable weapon, always going to keep this thing around. We've also got the Zalo Supercell with, of course, the ornament applied as well. The Shock Hazard one, which makes it look kind of cool. This is always a really good weapon to use in strikes because you can chain lightning between each other. It gives you super energy and some ammo back. And, of course, in Arc Burner is really good as well. There's also the Chaos Dogma, pretty good for bosses. There's this thing, the Burning Eye. This thing is one of the best weapons you can use for the raid because it can one-hit the shank, so it's very effective. Of course, the Outbreak Prime, that's always going to be very good in Fallen-based activities. The Bad Juju, again, I feel like it's one of the most underrated weapons. I don't use it all that much. I'm starting to use it a little bit more. The ability to just constantly kill mobs and never have to reload is also very effective. And, of course, with the ornaments going for it too. We also have the Angel's Advocate, which I showed off in yesterday's video in the Crucible, and this is a Fatebringer role on top of Perfect Balance, and this is basically a Mida archetype. So this is also very good in the PvE for getting headshots, and of course like a Fatebringer scout rifle essentially. In terms of my special weapons, we've got 3 of the Ex Machina snipers, each of one different element for whatever burn it might be or whatever kind of element I want to take down. This is basically the best weapon in PvE. It's not really much of a contest. This thing is so good. It kind of rivals the Black Hammer in terms of DPS. Not quite as good, but it is really good with spray and play and 4 in the mag and the super high impact. This thing is definitely one of the best tools you can use for PvE. There's also, of course, the Black Spindle, which I don't really use all that much, but I do keep around. And also the Stolen Wheel, which is an absolute truck of a shotgun. This thing hits really hard. Again, not really too much of a fan of it. I tend to use snipers most of the time. But if I do use a shotgun, this is definitely one of the best ones I have in my inventory. Now into the heavy, we've got the Sleeper Simulant. Definitely one of my favorite looking weapons in Destiny. And it's so much fun to use, just a giant space laser. It's just a really unique weapon. And definitely one of my favorites to use in strikes, for example. There's the G-Horn, of course, a classic. Can't get rid of that one. The Raid Machine Gun, which is probably the best in terms of numbers and shooting crit spots. And of course, the Thunderlord, which is also a very classic weapon. Pretty old school, and I'm trying to use it a little bit more because I love when the kind of lightning rounds activates and you're firing super fast. But there you go, those are my heavy weapons. Going into the Ghost Shells, we've got pretty much the same setup I mentioned before with the matching races on the planets. So this one is, of course, the best, being the Fallen, and also Cosmodrome, giving me bonus engrams, and of course Spin Metal for generally killing Fallen in the Cosmodrome and the Plague Lands, which tend to go quite well and gives you a stack of materials. Also, I've got this one, which is for the Hive and Cosmodrome. We've got Taken and Dreadnought. We've got this one for Vex and Venus. And, of course, the Cabal and Mars. So I've got one for every kind of race and planet. It's pretty difficult to actually get shells that do come with, corresponding perks with the race that tends to appear on that planet. But those are pretty much how I've got those set up for the different races. Now, going into the armor, we've got this helmet, which is definitely my favorite by far for the Titan. And I think it's based off Radagast, the Iron Lord. This is from Year 2 Iron Banner. We've got the Saint 14, of course, the Jovian Guard, a Charles helmet. This is the PlayStation exclusive Year 2 Iron Banner helmet. This one's from the Dusty Engrams, and of course the Desolate helmet as well. We've got this set is actually the PlayStation exclusive Iron Camelot Gauntlets. These things have really good perks. We've got Internet Discipline, also a Sniper Reload. This pair is similar. This is the non-PlayStation exclusive set, and this one's got Scout Reload instead, and also Strength. We've got more Dusty Engram stuff, the Jovian Guard, the No Backup Plans, but always one of my favorite looking exotics for the Titan. Ever since I first saw it in Year 1, I always love the look of it with these big glowy arms, but I don't really put them to use all that much in the Crucible, which I probably should, but I don't really play Defender in the Crucible that much. Also got the Desolate Gauntlets and the Ruined Wings, which I'm pretty sure these are bugged and they don't give you the heavy they're supposed to. And I'm pretty sure the Raid Gauntlets, the legendary ones, actually give you more heavy than these do. So those are actually really good in terms of stats. But these ones that seem apparently broken. Into chest piece, we've got this one from Trials, this one from Dusty Engram, we've got the Crest, which is pretty good for reviving people. The Garrison is probably still one of the best exotics for the Titan, and you can really utilize mobility amazingly well if you get good with this thing. But I'm yet to actually practice with it properly and get used to it. I never really played enough Crucible to actually practice, but I may do that eventually. But I do know this is very, very strong, even though it's probably the ugliest exotic in the game, and it's just awful looking in general. There's also the Armamentarium, which I probably use most of the time for double grenades, the Desolate chest, and the Joving Guard chest as well. Into boots, I've got the Raid boots, definitely my favorite pair. We've got this set Desolate again, the Harrowed King's Fall set. We've got these from more Dusty Engrams, this one from Sterling Treasures in year 2, and also more Joving Guard armor as well. And in terms of my marks, I pretty much only stick to either this one for Vanguard rep and this one for Crucible rep. I'm not really a fan of either of them. I think it's the only thing I'm still yet to complete with my Titan. The one thing I really want is the Raid mark. I think it's probably my favorite looking one. So I'm looking to try and get that from a Raid at some point soon. And of course down here we've got the usual artifacts, which I normally stick to the Memory of Yoda. Going into the bottom page, we've got the usual sparrows, which I tend to use, the Happy Horn as well, and this ship, which is probably my favorite for the Titan. Really love the kind of like red and green theme going on. I've also got 2 of these random blue ships, which I always thought looked really cool. They're kind of like little toy Lego ships, always remind me of, but I always thought they're really nice designs. So I kind of kept these things around. And now into the shaders, the Hangman is definitely my favorite for the Titan, no doubt. I always love the kind of black and white theme. The Ascendant Plane always looks really, really insane on the Titan armor for some reason. It glows like a massive amount. And also the Queen's Web, so I keep those around. We've got the Trial shader for that black and gold theme, Shatter White, and also the Super Black shader. In terms of emblems, we've got the usual ones, the Eye of Eternity from buying stuff from the Black Friday sale on Bungie.net. We've got the original Titan emblem, SRL, the Year 1 Moments of Triumph, another SRL one. We've got this one, which I think is from the beta maybe, and also the Sign of Opposing Will. In terms of my ranks on the Titan, they're definitely the lowest out of all 3 of them because it's my 3rd and least played character. So this has got Cryptarch rank 20, Vanguard 23, Crucible 16, and New Monarchy 34. So nothing too high to be honest, but of course, like I said, this is my least paid character by far. My hunters are all like in the hundreds around here. You might notice I've got a lot of sets of armor as well, which I pretty much just have for the looks. I don't use them all too much, but I've got the Joving Guard, as you can see right here, which I'm not really too fan of the arm pieces. The main thing I don't like. I know a lot of people absolutely love that massive like arm shield thing, but I think it looks pretty ridiculous in my personal opinion. There's also my only set of full Desolate gear. I don't have any for the Hunter or the Warlock. My Titan's got pretty much the full set, and I don't think I bought any either. I don't think I bought any extra other than grinding these strikes and Prison of Elders. But there you go, that's a full set of Desolate gear. Not really a fan of the whole Prison of Elders look, but it's pretty cool with the Taken effect. And I've also, of course, got the Year 1 Iron Banner set, which I really love the look of. It's kind of like a classic Titan in Year 1. Very simple, very basic. But there you go, that's a complete look at my Titan with all of his PvE loadouts, which I mainly use, like I said, for strikes, missions, and raids. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on my Titan, and of course, your favorite characters as well, and the gear you like running in these activities. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating would be much appreciated as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.